I just picked me some 4-leaf clovers. This one Vera picked. Here's the 5-leaf. See the 5th leaf right in the center? Got 5 little leaves in there. Extra good luck.
Our Beverly is an awesome lady. She is one of a kind. Nothing is ever going to get her down. She tells us there is no grass going to grow under her feet.
I got bird poop on me. A bird doo-dooed on me. Jeepers. Good thing I didn't look up at him. I would have got pooped in the eye. Yeah.
Back at Bell's Fork, the volunteers are gaining more insight into Miss Mary's strength and resilience.
Technology and all the stuff that we, take for granted. She doesn't, but she gets that that's not the message. She gets, that she lives here in this beauty and that she's truly blessed. And I think we lose touch with that.
I laughed the whole week at that man. But it was so funny how he said that he was the boss at his house. And then when his wife was around, he just as mute as he could be.
The volunteers learned that you have to be on your toes when you're around Miss Mary. In one particularly striking moment of playfulness, Mary takes a shot at the cameraman.
Pretty good. You can hate standing around being nosy.
Just off Kentucky Highway 421, volunteers are working to shore up the floors of the home of Lucy Collins. Miss Lucy is well known in these parts for her vibrant face, her love of her community, and her music. She is a strong, energetic mountain woman.
This is my piece of ground here. I own 8 acres here. All this mountains here. I own way against that big pond.
The filmmaker recalls the day he met Miss Lucy in her home.
Your house.
Uh-huh.
I said hello, and you jumped up and hugged me like I was a
nephew. You hooked up with Redbird, that's why, bro. Huh? You asked what you want here and see what you hooked up with Redbird.
Then the filmmaker asked Miss Lucy to share her secret of happiness.
I'm trying to get saved, brother. And I've got a friend praying for me. Praise the good Lord, and he's praying for me. Been over here today. Now I cooked him a good meal and started home with him. And he can't marry. He can't marry anymore. He's a preacher, and he prays for me. And he takes me to church. So that's what makes me happy.
The Redbird Mission campus is like a small city deep in the hollers of Appalachia. It has its own health clinic, community store, dentist, cafeteria, living quarters for the staff and volunteers, and yes, a little recreation. It even has its own sewage treatment plant. But the machinery is very old and in desperate need of replacement. The old hospital has now been turned into offices for the mission staff. The building is currently being plagued by roof leaks. Redbird has an inventory of nearly 70 buildings and 50 vehicles. Every building is vital to the mission. And as the buildings get even older, the list of repairs grows longer. Nearly 50 people, including their families, call Redbird their permanent home. And as the volunteers surge into the campus from week to week, the number of people living and working from this bustling village can grow into the hundreds. The Redbird Mission gets its name from the Redbird River, which runs just beside the mission campus. In Cherokee tradition, the redbird has great significance in their stories of creation. It is believed the name Redbird means daughter of the sun. In the early 1900s, this land was untamed and hostile. The people of this area, even then, struggled to survive in this isolated land. The Evangelical Church sent 2 men to visit the area. Traveling by mule, Dr. Nebel and Bishop Mays remarked at the time, "We have never seen a more real need anywhere." Sophia Roberts, who lived in the nearby town of Hyden, walked the journey to the village of Beverly once a week, just to get the mail. As she walked, she observed young men doing little with their time, unproductive and receiving no training or education. So she crossed the mountain each week and stopped at a particular rock to pray that a school would be built. In 1921, the first workers arrived, and construction began on a new school building. The land and materials were donated by the Knuckles family who lived in the area. That same year, the Reverend Dr. John J. DeWall arrived from Iowa with his wife and family. He came to help the missionary board in their endeavor to bring education to the people of Central Appalachia. He was appointed the first superintendent of the school. There were no doctors in the Redbird Valley when the DeWalls arrived in 1921. And for many of the residents here, the journey to see a doctor could take as long as 12 hours. And the passage was dangerous and plagued by thieves and men with violent, desperate tempers. For 60 years, the mission school thrived at what is known as the Beverly campus. In 1981, the school and gymnasium were destroyed by fire. The cause of the blaze remains a mystery.
The school is a K through 12 school. Tuition is very low and it works on a sliding scale. Tuition is not what keeps it going. Gifts are basically what keep it going. And it is easily over $1.5 million a year to run.
Bob Ferguson was the Director of Education and Principal of the Redbird Mission School for 15 years.
Redbird School has been a tradition in the Valley. With the number of teachers and the number of students, we can really provide almost a one-on-one relationship in a lot of cases. And a lot of times the children that come to our school would be lost in the larger schools. But when we get them here, they seem to excel in a lot of ways. About 2/3 of our students will go out and go to further education each year. And so I think that's quite an accomplishment.
Herman Asher is the newly appointed school principal. His appreciation for and commitment to the students and staff here is evident in his comments.
I just feel we have a wonderful school, wonderful staff. They care about each other and they care about the kids. And that's one thing I really like about it. And I stress that when I try to hire a new staff member, is making sure that that staff member cares for our kids and relates to them and somewhat really takes their interest at heart, that they can get them through what they need to get through.
Tanya is the school secretary, and she has a very personal connection to the school.
I started Redbird in the 5th grade. I was a student here, and was here until I graduated. Being able to give back to a place that gave me so much. They gave me just so much. We have 225 students, and I know all their phone numbers by heart.
2 times 2 equals 4.
Working with these children is just such a blessing.
In many instances, some of our students who do not have the home life, or because parents have died or other reasons, they're kind of on their own and the atmosphere is not good, that in the dormitory program we can provide a loving, caring home life for them. And our dorm parents are just like mothers and fathers to all these students. And several have gone on to school and accomplished great things that probably would not have done so if it had not been for the dormitory program.
Mary Allen is a senior at the Redbird Mission School. Mary has lived in the student dormitory on campus for the last 2 years of high school.
I've been to so many schools where my parents have been divorced since I was 6. And it's really helped. After I graduate here, I'm hoping to go to York Technical College or Winthrop University in South Carolina to either be a special education teacher or a photographer.
She explains that without the dorm program, she might not have enjoyed the same success in school that has brought her to graduation day.
I'm the first one on my mom's side of her kids to graduate and go on to college.
Her mother is really proud of her.
Within the last 3 or 4 years, it's really been a year-to-year operation. We never know if it's going to survive more than 2 or 3 years out because of funding issues.
We didn't have enough funds to operate the school. We did not
These people in this culture have lived here for 200 plus years. It's more than just home. It is the absolute root of their existence. These wonderful people that are called mountain people. And the most wonderful blessing is the fact that they trust you from the first time they meet you until you prove otherwise. You're enabling people to see the hope and the possibilities they have, and the result of that is they realize they are good. They're just good people to be around. It just leaves you with a good feeling. If you spend some time with them, you can't help but walk away feeling good about that day. The Redbird Mission is considered to be one of the most comprehensive mission sites in the world.